What is the history of quilts made from fabric scraps? Imagine turning tiny pieces of fabric into something warm and beautiful. That's what quilt making from fabric scraps is all about. This practice has a long history rooted in practicality and creativity. In early America, especially in rural and frontier communities, fabric was a precious resource. People saved every scrap from sewing clothes, household textiles, or worn-out garments because new fabric was expensive and hard to come by. Making quilts from these leftover pieces was a way to stretch resources and keep families warm. During the 1800s and into the early 1900s, this habit became a common tradition. Women would gather scraps from feed sacks, which were made from cotton and often decorated with colorful prints. These sacks were used for packaging flour and feed, and once emptied, they became perfect for quilting. Some of these sacks had pretty patterns printed on them, making the quilts even more decorative. Quilters also used old clothing, like shirts and dresses, cutting them into patches to preserve memories of loved ones. Different styles of quilting emerged to make the most of small fabric pieces. The 9-patch pattern used small squares, while log cabin quilts arranged strips of fabric in a spiral. String quilts, popular in southern rural areas, involve sewing narrow strips onto a foundation, creating a patchwork of leftover bits. During the Great Depression, fabric scarcity made scrap quilting even more vital. It was a way to reuse what little material was available, helping families stay warm without buying new textiles. Over time, quilting styles like the crazy quilt, with its decorative use of irregular scraps, gained popularity. African American communities also embraced scrap quilting, often transforming discarded fabric remnants into meaningful family heirlooms. Today, this tradition continues with modern quilters upcycling worn jeans or leftover fabric from previous projects. Scrap quilting shows how constraints can spark creativity and resourcefulness. It turns what might seem like waste into works of art, all while honoring a long history of making do with what you have. This craft reminds us that, with a little imagination, even the smallest fabric pieces can become something special.